This is Trash or Treasure Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, or should I say, Trick or Treat Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Halloween is approaching us. One of my favorite ways to celebrate besides eating an unusual amount of Draculinia is playing Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion is one of the most unique and coolest series Nintendo has to offer. The first game is considered a classic. It may be a bit short, but the exploration and just a creepy atmosphere made Luigi's Mansion such a brilliant and great game. What's even better is Luigi's Mansion wasn't a one-off thing. It became a series. There's even a somewhat obscure arcade adaptation that's an on-rail shooter. I would love if that came to the Switch. Also, if you're watching this, Nintendo or Bandai Namco, put all the Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix games on the Switch as well. And speaking of the Switch, Luigi's Mansion 3 has received critical acclaim. It expands on the exploration of the first game while adding a ton of new and great mechanics. Not to mention, it's the best looking Nintendo game by far, almost looking like a Pixar film. Both Luigi's Mansion and Luigi's Mansion 3 are unanimously considered great, but as the saying goes with Nintendo, toot-toot on you. Most of their series have very experimental and different sequels, Super Mario Bros. 2 USA, Zelda 2, and games like that. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, or Luigi's Mansion 2 outside the Americas, is a bit divisive, sorta like candy corn. Some love it, others don't. So the question is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon as sweet as getting a full-size candy bar, or as disappointing as getting Mario Golf Super Rush? Okay, reality kicked in. Or is it as disappointing as getting a penny trick-or-treating? Seriously, I knew a guy who did that. When Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was announced, I was thrilled! I haven't even played the first game, but I love playing as Luigi. Any chance I get to choose a better brother, I'll take it. Even Nintendo knows he's better, because the Year of Luigi remains the best anniversary celebration they've ever done by far. The game to kickstart the Year of Luigi was Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Now, it did get delayed from its initial release in 2012. 2012 was supposed to be the end of the world, so I was a bit surprised. And to be honest, I kinda wish it was.
Hey guys, it's Patrick, and I'd just like to give my thoughts on the world ending. That's bullcrap. Has it ended? No. Hey, what's that thing in the sky? Oh no!
But here we are 8 years later after Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon released. I actually got it as a gift for giving up gaming for Lent. 40 days with no games. I wish I gave up oranges instead. Okay guys, he's gone! He's canonically dead, he's not here! Considering where I live and how I remember playing the game, I'll be referring to the game as Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, not Luigi's Mansion 2, but it remains a direct sequel to the first game regardless. They went back to the numbering for Luigi's Mansion 3. What a missed opportunity not calling it Luigi's Mansion Darker Moon. The game has a different story than the first game. Rather than going for the tired and lame damsel in distress story, Luigi is hired to do EGAD's dirty work after King Boo destroyed pieces of the Dark Moon, turning friendly ghosts evil. No matter how basic the plot is, I love when Nintendo ditches a damsel in distress plot. It's cliche as hell and boring. One of my favorite Mario games, Super Mario Land 2, doesn't involve any princess rescuing at all, but rather has Mario claiming back his land that Wario stole from him. Rather than exploring one big mansion, Luigi has to navigate through multiple different mansions, each with their own theme. In a way, it's similar to how Luigi's Mansion had themed rooms, but there's more variety here, such as having a mansion take place in a standard haunted mansion, while another one takes place in a botanical garden. But rather than exploring an interconnected mansion, the game has a mission-based structure. You'll complete tasks for EGAD as part of these missions. This is why the game is considered divisive. Part of the enjoyment of Luigi's Mansion was exploring a huge mansion. It felt like you were actually there. Missions are more like a world map. So the question is, what is my stance on the new mission structure? Personally, I have no issue with it. While I prefer the exploration of the first game, the mission structure is great as well. For one, it's a handheld game. Having missions makes sense if you want to play the game in short bursts. And two, the core gameplay of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon completely annihilates any issues that I would have with the mission structure. Luigi is given a new Poltergust, the Poltergust 5000. Why'd they skip from the 3000 to 5000? Because the 4000 is a freaking cart! The Poltergust 5000 has new abilities. You can shine a dark light to find hidden objects and such, but most notably, it has a strobe light. Catching ghosts in the first game wasn't exactly seamless. You'd have to wait for the ghost heart to show, then shine a flashlight on them, and then catch them. But by stunning the ghosts, you can catch them much easier. It doesn't make the game too easy, it's just so much more practical. Luigi also has a new way to communicate with EGAD, the dual scream. Very clever, Nintendo. The overall gameplay has a lot more puzzle elements than the first game. Don't expect a puzzle game, we have Dr. Luigi for that. But you will have to figure out where items are and how to complete tasks. This gives the game a lot more replay value and makes it even more fun. What Dark Moon does is takes the basis of the first game and expands on it in every way. The presentation of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is stellar. Anyone remember when the Nintendo 3DS was all about 3D? It's pretty funny how the last few 3DS games ditched 3D entirely. I personally love the 3D and crank it up to the max quite often. The original Luigi's Mansion was supposed to have 3D, but that was scrapped, at least at the time. But it's very clear why Luigi's Mansion was going to have 3D, and that's because the game looks stunning in 3D. You can't see it on camera, but it looks absolutely beautiful. All the environments and character models along with the designs are great. Luigi even gets a pet being Polterpup. I would love for him and many other Luigi's Mansion characters to appear in more Mario games. The music is great as well. It goes for the spooky theme of Luigi's Mansion and sounds great. There is also ambience in the more creepy sections. Needless to say, the presentation is great. Dare I say, it's the best looking game on the 3DS. Luigi's Mansion was a very short game. It could easily be beaten in a couple hours. Sure, you could go for the best ending, and the PAL version had a truly hard mode, while the rest of the world got a slightly more difficult mode. Kinda like when you beat Super Mario Bros., the Goombas are replaced with Buzzy Beetles. The game isn't unfinished, it's just short, but the adventure is a full course meal, so it's short and fat like Danny DeVito. Dark Moon, on the other hand, has much more replay value. You can aim to 100% it by getting 3 stars in every mission and catching all the boos. And yes, the names are still punny as ever, but it's nice to have a longer experience and you'll spend a lot more time playing Dark Moon than the first game. This is why I like the mission structure, because it makes the game that much more replayable. So far, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon has received almost nothing but praise from me, but I do have some criticisms of the game. The ghosts themselves are super generic and quite lame. There's only a few varieties, whereas in the first game, there were the cartoony ghosts, but also the portrait ghosts. These portrait ghosts are based on what ghosts are, undead humans, and each of them had unique looks and personalities. Unfortunately, Dark Moon doesn't have them. The bosses are cool, but there needed to be more variety. I also wish the tone of the game was a bit creepier, because it's a bit too cartoony for my liking. It's still great, but not as creepy as I would like. Other than those, I really don't have any issues with the game. So far we've established that Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon has excellent gameplay, a beautiful presentation, high replay value, but does fall flat with generic designs for the ghosts. So what's the verdict? I don't think it takes a rocket scientist or EGAD to know Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is truly a treat. It's my favorite Nintendo 3DS game. Don't get me wrong, I love the first game, but Dark Moon excels on it in every way imaginable. But if you thought we're done covering Luigi's Mansion, stay tuned because on Halloween, I'll be concluding the Trick or Treat series with the 3DS remake of Luigi's Mansion. This was a request from my good friend Giyoshi. He makes wonderful ROM hacks, loves Paper Mario, and is a great friend. Also, thank you for the Game Boy Light. Well, anyways guys, thanks for watching and keep calm and dada on.